Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're plunging into a truly fascinating question. How vastly different are educational experiences around the world? Seriously, our deep dive today centers on a tale of two classrooms. We're looking through the eyes of two 15-year-olds, Rohan from Mumbai, India, and Ethan from Texas, USA. Now, they actually connected online while gaming, believe it or not. And, like modern kids do, they started talking about their daily lives, school came up, and what they discovered about each other's routines were some, well, truly surprising contrasts. We're talking profound differences in philosophy, the daily grind, even what success actually looks like.
That's right. And what's really compelling about this comparison is how it forces us to maybe reevaluate our own assumptions about what effective education truly means. We're not just looking at what they do day to day. We're digging into why their systems prioritize certain things and how that shapes, well, everything. Curriculum, daily life, even how achievement gets measured. You're definitely going to get some real aha moments, I think, about what different societies value in learning and development.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's step into Rohan's world first.
Right.
In Mumbai. So imagine his typical morning. His alarm blares at 6 a.m. 6. And not because he's, an eager beaver morning person. It's because the CBSE board, that's India's central secondary education board, sets this really rigorous national curriculum. And it all culminates in a single high-stakes final exam. This exam is often the sole determinant for getting into university across the country. It really dictates the pace. And his backpack. Okay, Rohan probably never thought his daily haul was anything unusual, right? Until he started chatting with Ethan. Apparently, it's less school supply and more mobile boulder. He's hauling a serious load. When you think about that, is it just about the sheer volume of textbooks, or does that weight symbolize something, I don't know, more profound about the system?
Oh, it absolutely symbolizes more, definitely. In Rohan's classroom, learning is often, well, it's an active process, but it's about absorption and reproduction. Teachers deliver content, lectures mostly, and students meticulously copy notes, almost like human printers. Now, this isn't just about rote memorization, though that's part of it. It's a deep emphasis on precision, on the rigorous assimilation of facts. These are seen as foundational, for mastering complex subjects later on. This method cultivates a really profound capacity for detailed retention and accuracy, which is crucial for that foundational knowledge and for the highly competitive academic tracks they have.
Right. And here's where the stark contrasts really hit home for you listening. The real drama in Rohan's academic life. One, giant. Final exam at the end of the year. And that often decides his entire path, what college he gets into, maybe even what field of study he can pursue. I mean, no pressure, right? This single exam demands an incredible capacity for meticulous recall, mastering vast, complex sets of information.
Exactly. And Rohan's system, it's driven by just immense competition. You have limited university seats, highly sought-after government jobs. So it doesn't just build endurance and academic precision, though it certainly does that. It forges an incredible capacity for intense intellectual demands, for mastering detailed information under pressure. It's really a direct response to a highly demanding academic and professional landscape there.
Wow. Okay, so that's Rohan's intense reality. But how does this compare to Ethan, our Texas counterpart? What about his morning? Now imagine Rohan's face when Ethan described his morning routine. Ethan, on the other hand, apparently rolls out of bed at 8:15 a.m., and he still insists it's too early.
Sounds familiar.
Right. And his backpack, a much lighter affair, apparently, like 3 binders and a suspiciously small lunchbox. I'm picturing my own high school backpack now, and yeah, it was definitely closer to Rohan's mobile boulder. What do you think that lighter load signals about Ethan's daily academic journey?
Well, it signals a different approach to learning, right from the get-go. Ethan's classes sound far more dynamic. They're often all about group discussions, collaborative projects, and sometimes he's even, building robots instead of just memorizing equations from a textbook. It's a stark contrast to Rohan's note-copying environment. The focus shifts more towards active application, critical thinking, and collaboration. It's less about absorbing huge quantities of facts for one final test, and much more about how you use information, how you work with others.
Okay, and the grading system for Ethan. Totally different ballgame. It's not just one big test deciding everything. Grades are this continuous mix. Quizzes, assignments, class participation. So essentially everything kind of counts. From quizzes and homework to joining class discussions, maybe thoughtful contributions. It all builds his overall grade. I mean, every interaction could genuinely factor in. It's a subtle but really significant difference, especially if you're used to Rohan's single high-stakes exam world.
Right. And Ethan's system seems designed to spark creativity and curiosity. It aims to foster skills like critical thinking, problem solving, the ability to innovate, working effectively in teams, that sort of thing. It's arguably preparing students for a world where continuous learning and adaptability are paramount, often through that practical application and collaborative discovery we talked about.
So when Rohan and Ethan actually started comparing notes, that's when the real jaw drop moments happened for both of them. Rohan was apparently absolutely stunned when Ethan told him about electives, things like photography or media studies. Just the very idea of choosing subjects based on personal interest or maybe a future creative path that was quite foreign to him, especially in a system so singularly focused on that core academic track.
Yeah, you can imagine. And on the flip side, Ethan's jaw dropped at the idea of surviving 5 straight hours of math without having some kind of breakdown, just the sheer intensity and duration of focused academic study in Rohan's day. It was almost unimaginable to him. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how each system, while so vastly different in its approach, cultivates these distinct strengths and perspectives in its students. And these strengths are deeply valued within their own societal and economic contexts.
Right. But in the end, despite all their differences, they did find some universal truths, which is kind of nice. They both seem to agree that neither system is perfect, far from it, but both are incredibly valuable for what they aim to achieve within their context. And perhaps the most relatable point for anyone listening right now, the homework still finds you, no matter what country you're in.
Huh. That is definitely universal. Some things truly transcend borders.
So what does this all mean for you listening in? Well, it means we're looking at two valid yet profoundly different approaches to education. That's the core takeaway. Each aims to prepare young people for the future, sure, but they have very different definitions of what that preparation entails and what skills are prioritized along the way.
And this raises a really important question for you to consider personally. If you had to choose, what kind of learning environment truly excites you or helps you thrive? Is it the one focused on precision, meticulous recall, intense academic rigor for maybe a high-stakes world? Or is it the one that prioritizes creativity, discussion, project-based learning to foster perhaps continuous innovation?
Yeah, exactly. So if you had to choose the academic rigor and the weight of that 10-kilo backpack, or the creative pressure of juggling, say, 12 open-ended projects with a lighter bag, what kind of challenge truly makes you thrive? Something to think about.